Hey guys, it's Madeline from Studio TimeOut, and today we are making Bulletproof Coffee. And we're just gonna start right in with the recipe. I am using these Bulletproof coffee grounds, and you can get this as a ground coffee or you can actually get the whole beans. But the reason why we would recommend using this is because the coffee beans are guaranteed to be free of any type of mold toxin. And you can read all about that in the blog article, but these are the coffee beans that we're talking about, the Bulletproof brand. And the method of making coffee that we like to use is the French press, but you can use any method that works best for you that you really like. And my favorite measurements for this recipe for the coffee are 2.5 tablespoons of coffee grounds and 1 cup of hot water. So that's what's right here in the French press right now. 2.5 tablespoons of coffee grounds, about 1 cup of hot water. But you could use more coffee or you could use less coffee in this recipe, and that's going to be completely up to you. So this has been sitting here for about 4 minutes and it's ready to go, and I'm just pressed this little thing down in the French press and it's just about ready. And we'll be using the Vitamix today for our blender, but you could use any type of blender that you like, whether it's a NutriBullet, a Magic Bullet, or any other blender really works. It doesn't have to be a Vitamix, but we just really like the Vitamix here. Okay, so I'm getting all of this coffee out, and the next step is to add the butter. And yes, I did say butter. One thing you want to make sure of when you're choosing butter is that it's absolutely from grass-fed cows, and that would be called pasture butter. And you can see we've got this brand, it's called Pastureland, and it's unsalted pasture butter. So this is something that you can find here up in the retail area at the studio, and it's in the refrigerator, or you can get this at lots of different types of co-ops and health food stores. But you have to make sure of 2 things. Number 1, that it is pasture raised, it's from grass-fed cows, and number 2, that it's unsalted. If you use salted butter in this recipe, it's not going to taste good at all, believe me. Now, if you're dairy sensitive and dairy doesn't work for you, you could use ghee instead. And you can find this in the Asian section at any kind of health food store. So ghee works as well, but we're using the pasture butter today. And we'll be using about 2 tablespoons of butter in this recipe. And also, we're going to be using XCT oil, or you could use brain octane oil, and both work. So let me just show you. They look like this. They come in these different bottles, and the brain octane and the XCT oil, they're just different forms of MCT oil, and they can be used interchangeably. So if you have no idea which one to pick, and it's your first time, just choose one. Just pick one, get that, and start making the Bulletproof coffee with that. And then the next time you might choose the other oil and see how it makes you feel different. And then eventually you can mix and match and just use both on different days or at different times. And that gives you some more variety. Now, you do want to start really, really small when you're working with these types of oils, meaning like start with half a teaspoon or maybe 1 teaspoon in your Bulletproof coffee at first, and eventually, slowly over time, you could build up to 2 tablespoons of the oil in your coffee. But watch out for any kind of digestive disturbance. Like you might actually get diarrhea or cramping or bloating if you use too much too quickly. Or it might be kind of messing with your mind. Like sometimes it makes people extra irritable or grumpy if you're using too much too quick. So start small and eventually you build up. Okay, if you like sweetener in your coffee, we would recommend using the New Naturals liquid stevia, and you just determine how much you're going to use. Okay, I just like a couple of drops in my coffee. Okay, a couple extra fun things to look at would be the upgraded chocolate powder and the upgraded vanilla powder. So it's just like cocoa powder or vanilla extract, but this vanilla, it's in a powder form. And these are super, super amazing ingredients, and they taste different than your average vanilla or chocolate. because they are made without the mold toxin, just like the coffee beans we talked about. So you're gonna notice a difference in the quality and the taste and the clarity in your mind when you use these. Now let's say you don't even like coffee or you don't wanna drink coffee. You can still make this recipe just using some of these ingredients instead. So that would mean you use about a cup of hot water to replace the coffee. You use the butter, you use the XCT or the brain octane oil, and then choose either vanilla, maybe about a teaspoon in there, or maybe a tablespoon or so of the chocolate powder. And it's gonna be like a hot vanilla drink or a hot chocolate drink. And you could drink this, your kids could drink this, anybody. And believe me, it tastes absolutely decadent and amazing. It also makes for a really, really good drink right before bed, especially if you have trouble going to sleep on an empty stomach, but you don't wanna eat dinner really, really late at night. This is a really good fix for that. Okay, but for now, we'll skip those. I just like the plain coffee. Okay, I'm gonna be blending this all up. Start on low, and then you slowly turn it up to high, and just blend away. And then you can even see it's foamy in there. So it's not gonna be like what you might think butter is like, where it's pooling and it's all like thick and oily. It's not gonna be like that. This is just like a nice frothy, foamy latte. And you can even see this gorgeous light brown color and everything. It just tastes unbelievable. So enjoy your coffee, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next time. One more thing. Really listen to your body and pay attention to how you feel when you start drinking this coffee. You're gonna have to determine really how much fat, meaning the butter or the oil that you use, and how much coffee is gonna be good for you in your body. And you really wanna determine that for yourself. Everybody reacts really different to the coffee, but what you should notice if it's working for you is that you have much more clarity and focus and ability to connect to your brain properly. You're gonna be getting a lot more done throughout your day, and you're just gonna feel better in general. But if you're experiencing something negative, then tweak the recipe so it works better for you. Okay, we'll see you next time.